My name is Kenneth Lanclos, and I'm married to my beautiful wife Judy for 58 years. And we have two sons, and both of them go to church. Damien goes to First Pres here, and he's married to Sandy. And they have two children. And my son Kevin is an elder at his church in Covington, Georgia, and he's a physician. And he has 4 kids, so I have 6 beautiful grandkids, 3 girls and 3 boys. When I finished my doctorate at Baylor College of Medicine, I did a postdoctorate at the University of Texas, and then I got an offer to go to the Rockefeller in New York, which is a position that I thought I was going to, but the Lord had other interest in mind for me. And he directed me to the Medical College of Georgia. And then after I was here about a year, I was introduced by one of my colleagues to First Presbyterian Church, and I wasn't Presbyterian at the time. I was raised in a non-denominational church. And he invited me to come and listen to a lesson on the Westminster Confession. It was being taught by the elder Mr. Whitney. And then I told Judy, we found our church. That's exactly what I believe. I got involved with in the church with campus outreach and medical campus outreach, and I had a lot of foreign postdocs that would come into the lab, and I was able to get them involved in the church through the international link, and then involvement with the medical students through medical campus outreach, and so I was very busy. I can remember with the medical campus outreach, Bill Pearson, who was a medical student, lo and behold, he then comes to me and says, I want you to give a seminar on creation. And I'm going to round up all the medical students and the faculty and everybody, and you give this seminar on creation. Oh dear, I have to, what have I signed up for here? And so I agreed to do it. And of course, at that time, evolution was really big, and people were still assuming that time was infinity, and everybody believed in evolution, and that was a reason they didn't have to believe in God.
My name is Linda Tucciarone, and I am married to John Tucciarone. We have been married we'll be married this year, 46 years, and we have been members of First Presbyterian Church for 44 years. We have 2 children, John and Catherine. Catherine is married to Emmett Turner. They live here in Augusta, Georgia. They're active at First Presbyterian Church. They have 3 children, my grandchildren, and they also are involved in the church. John is married to Melanie Tucciarone. They have 1 child, Parker, and he is stationed with the United States Air Force at a base in Florida. I came to Augusta because my husband had accepted a position with the Corps of Engineers, and I had been in a lab I was in a doctoral program at Columbia University in New York City, and then John changed our plans, and so we visited Augusta. Ken graciously offered to employ me for the gap season because we arrived New Year's Eve 1976, and graduates, doctoral students are not taken on to August. So I worked from January to August, and then became his grad student in his laboratory. And I was and my husband would agree, a bra-burning liberal from New York. I would, probably be labeled as a Kennedy Democrat, as every good Irish Catholic would have been, and had some very definite opinions that were contrary to some deeply held beliefs by Ken and his wife.
Linda was an excellent student, but very nosy. She had to know everything going on. And so I was like I said before, involved in a lot of ministries that were being carried on at the medical college and at First Pres, and so she would observe those things, and then she would round up fellow students to make fun of what I believe. But what happened was I, fortunately, was able to get funding, quite a bit of funding from our research. I had 2 grants going on at the same time, one from the NIH, one from the NSF. And I had sort of neglected the NSF grant, and lo and behold, Linda comes in with a letter. Got a letter from the National Science Foundation. I was working at the lab bench, and she handed it to me, and I opened it up and I read it, and I just set it down and I kept working. Pretty soon, she's so nosy, she had to know what they wanted, and so she took the letter, went to her desk, and read it. And it was the contents of the letters that they were not going to continue my funding for the next year. And I had just set it down. And then she starts staring at me. Next thing I know, she banged her fist over her desk. Boom! "What is it?" she hollers. I said, "What is what?" Boom! "What is it?" Any of these other faculty that got a letter like that, they would be screaming and hollering and having a pissy fit, and you just did nothing. And I said, "Well, come into my office and I'll tell you why." So I took her in to the office, and I explained to her what my beliefs are and why I believe them. And I don't remember what I actually don't remember. It's been too long what I told her. But obviously, it took hold. Because next thing I know, she's coming into the lab where she read science journals all the time at her desk. Now she's reading the Bible every day.
I think Ken, embodied that idea that you don't have to leave your brain outside the church. I mean, the day I left the lab and he said, "I don't want to see you for 6 weeks," I bought my first Bible. I wanted to please God. I thought I did, and I thought I knew it. I mean, I can't tell you the number of times Ken said, "You don't know what you believe, Tucciarone." And he was absolutely right. I didn't have any basis for the ideas that I was formulating. And for a science person, that's not a good thing, not to have that. But it was the truth with love. People say, "Well, when do you remember coming to Christ?" It was not a particular invitation to receive him, but this deep understanding of, if I had been the only sinner, Christ would have died for me. That's how personal the relationship was. I left a family of 6 siblings, and John, his parents. We were not churchgoers, and in the Catholic Church, you don't immediately tie into a fellowship at a Catholic church. I'm not being disrespectful, it's just not part of the culture. And but Ken and Judy took us under their wing. So I think about the Sunday school class and Jack O. Tyson and Phil Hedges. And these people were praying for us, for John and I. And I mean, really praying for us. We were probably, I don't know, maybe 1 or 2 on the prayer list because of you and Judy. I don't know what you said about me when I wasn't there to those people about this person's got to come to the Lord. And but so we now had a family. And again, I can't emphasize enough, two New Yorkers moving to the Deep South and no connections other than what we would form through our jobs or school. And we were embraced. That is part of the Christian life, isn't it? It's just not, it's word and deed.